Hi everyone, this is Mary. You're watching Cards TV, and in my last video I showed you this little holiday recipe album that I made. I'm going to make two more, one for my son and one for my daughter. And I showed you the chipboard technique for the little gingerbread baker ginger, and I also did my letters the same way, and this little cutout that says recipes. I just layered them so it looks like chipboard. Today I'm going to show you the construction of the album. I used my bind-it-all to put it together, but if you don't have a bind-it-all, you can use binder rings, which I'll show you in a minute, and you just punch a hole in the side and put your binder rings through, and it'll hold it nice and secure. I used the From My Kitchen cartridge to cut my dividers, and I'm going to show you about cutting those out, tell you what size, and we're just going to go through putting one of these together because I do have to make two more. So I'll come right back, I'll get everything together. Here are the binder rings I was telling you about, and they come in different sizes. This is a 3/4 inch and this is a 1 inch, but I think you can get even bigger ones. I wouldn't advise going to a smaller size than 3/4 of an inch though. You want to be able to turn your pages nicely. But you can get these in an office supply store. Sometimes Walmart has them. I got these at Office Depot in a box. But they're very simple to use. They just pop open. You punch a hole and thread it through, put all your pages on there, and snap it shut. And you can tie ribbons on here and put charms on it and everything to decorate your little album. They're really handy. Now the first thing we're going to cut for our recipe album are these divider pages. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this one, then the middle one, and this one. And I am currently out of the chipboard from the soft drink boxes. My stash is gone, so I'm going to have to drink some more Mountain Dew, I guess. But I'm going to use some ivory colored cardstock, and I'm going to cut this tab on page 68, and it's the one that's got the scallop top. I really like that one a lot. So let's set this to 4 inches. There we go, 4 inches. And this is on the same page that's got the platter with the fish. It's right here, and it's under tab. So we'll push the fish and tabs. We've got to wait for it right there. And what I'm going to do is cut two of these and adhere them together so it'll be thicker. Now I've gone ahead and cut two of each one of the dividers. I'm using 3 dividers, but you can certainly add more if you're going to have different types of recipes. I'm only using 3 because I'm doing candy, cookies, and pie. But when you adhere these together, you could use your ATG gun, your glue runner, or you can use this Scotch quick dry adhesive. This works really, really well, and it will hold it nicely. And this is what I'm going to be using. So I'm going to go ahead and get these adhered together, and then I'm going to choose some paper and cut that out to go on the front and back of my dividers. Now I've adhered and started putting the paper on my dividers, and I wanted to make sure, I think I forgot to tell you what pages to find these on. For the left cut, you'll find that on page 68. That's the one right there. For the middle cut, which is this one, you'll find that on page 69, right there. And for the right cut, this one right here, you'll find it on page 70. And that's right down here. Now before I start doing anything else, I've got my paper on. I'm going to take this chestnut roan chalk ink and just start inking around the edges. That hides the ivory colored cardstock from the edges, and it also gives the dividers a really nice look, I think. Gives them some highlights and definition. So I'm going to continue on with my inking and adhering the pages and the pockets together. And I'll be back very soon to start putting this in the bind-it-all, and we'll get it all put together. Here is my mind today. My goodness, I forgot to tell you also, I cut these all at 4 inches. For my front and back cover, I'm going to cut one for the front and one for the back, but because I'm doubling the cardstock, since I don't have any chipboard, I'm going to cut 4 pieces. 2 for the front and 2 for the back, which I will adhere together. And these need to be 4 1/4 by 7. So I'm just going to take my ivory colored cardstock, 4 1/4 by 7. And I'll go ahead and get these cut, and then we'll cut the pockets for the front and the back cover. For the pockets for my front and back cover, I'm going to cut 2 that are 2 inches by 7 inches. And I only need 1 thickness of cardstock for that. So I'll go ahead and cut those and cut some paper to cover them, and we'll start putting all this together. The pockets for the inside divider pages are going to be 2 by 6 3/4. And I need to cut 1 for the front and 1 for the back and some paper to cover it. And I'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to do something different in the one for my son and daughter. This one is for myself, and this is all I need for my recipes. But because they're married and they may have other recipes that they'd like to add in the coming years, I'm going to add an additional page between each divider. And that additional page is going to be 4 by 6 3/4. And it will come down below the divider. So I'm going to go ahead and cut 1 for each of those and get some paper for that and get it all adhered, and then when we come back we're going to put all this together, and I'll show you how to use the bind-it-all. Okay, I've got all my pages cut and covered, and now I'm ready to start putting them in the bind-it-all. So we're going to bring our bind-it-all over, and I'm going to do the front cover first, and I want the holes in this edge. So I'm going to line it up in my bind-it-all, and I want to space it so that I have the same amount on the overhang on either side, and this is the center of where my holes will be punched. I've got the little support foot out in the back, and I'm just going to push down, and it's cut the holes for my front cover. And I'm going to go ahead and cut the holes in the rest of this, and then we'll bind it and we'll have the album ready to be embellished. Okay, I've cut all my holes with the bind-it-all, and I'm going to use this 3/4 inch binding wire. And what you want to do so that your binding will be on the inside back and where it comes together won't be exposed in the front, you want to take your back cover, bring it around and put it on the front before you put your wire in, and then start threading your wire through all your pages. This one is thicker than my first one. There's our front page, and here's our back page. And once we get these closed up, this will flip around on the back, and then where they come together will be hidden inside the back cover rather than the front. Now I've got the gauge set for the 3/4 inch wire. Let me get those in there square now. And we're going to put this inside. I'm going to turn it this way so I can see when they come together. And we just gently push down, and we can see when our wires get to where we need them. You can take it out and look, and you can see it's not quite enough. So we're going to put it back in. Be real careful, don't get your fingers in here. It will hurt. Okay, there you can see it's all closed up. We're going to flip our back cover around. And there we have our second little cookbook album, all ready to be embellished. Thanks so much for coming by today, guys. In part 3, we're going to cut out some of the really cute embellishments in the From My Kitchen cartridge to embellish our cookbook album. So I'll see you again soon for part number 3. Bye now.